Greetings, Guardians. My name is Bife here. So, that exotic mission. I promise, no salt. I did my best to get it all out of my system last time, and I know it's not what everyone wants. Even if it does consistently get better viewership, and no, that's not the sound of me being sad in the background, I promise. Anyway, for this video I didn't actually want to talk about what happens in Heliostat because honestly, there isn't much there. We fight some Cabal and Vex that have been controlled by Maya and stop her from launching her satellite, and yeah, that's it. Nothing really revolutionary. What's much more interesting are the mysteries behind all of this, so screw it, we're going to talk about all of that today. So first things first, yeah, Seaver is dead, Quicksilver is alive, our old nanite menace is all over the facility even if it's dead, and we can use the Quicksilver to slice through it, proving that the more advanced nanites and some Vex tomfoolery with some kind of radiolarian infusion is indeed better than the old stuff that hasn't developed for centuries in Neomuna. But for me, the first interesting point of the mission here isn't really what Quicksilver does, it's more who's using it. Namely, the scions of the Cabal ascendancy under Keitel. This is really important as an indicator of how closely tied together the coalition is now. Neomuna used to view us as warlords who would quickly make the decision to take over their city and rule them like tyrants if we ever found them. Now they know that that's not true, and as a result they've been willing to share technology with us, and by the looks of it, also with Keitel's Cabal. It's not like we're at the point where we're a single faction, but we're starting to get so closely bound together that it's mostly safe to assume that any enemy of ours is also an enemy of anyone else in the coalition. Is that a big deal in the grand scheme of things? Not yet, but I think it's worth noting. I think the big deal is instead what happens at the end of the mission, which is honestly the bit that really confuses me. There's two factors here. The aspect of us reaching through time and the aspect of us supposedly finding Golden Age tech that is infused with light. Let's start with the first bit. It's definitely something that Maya has created even if it's based in a somewhat pristinely preserved Warsat satellite. This is definitely something that she's been using as part of her plan to pull Red Legionary troops through time. That bit I think is pretty self-explanatory. What's not self-explanatory is the appearance of Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane is pulled from another time, and perhaps I'm misinterpreting this, but if this is from the same time as an alternate timeline Red Legion, then I have a ton of questions. This is an Iron Lord's axe infused with Quicksilver nanites. These two sources of power are so removed from each other that it's actually kind of weird to even see them in the context of another timeline so close together. We can only really guess at what happened in that alternate timeline where the weapon was pulled from, but I think the biggest hint comes from the actual look of the axe itself, because it looks like it's broken. Combine this with the name of Wolfsbane and I think that we have a really interesting possibility here. The possibility that this exotic was pulled through time from an alternate timeline where the Red Legion was actually victorious in some sense. This then leaves the question of the Quicksilver nanites, which I think are an important factor to it all, but I think it's really unclear when and where they were added. You see, if we pulled the axe through time as it is, then this implies that Earth's Guardians were defeated but somehow found their way to Neomuna, where this technology was doubtless developed. If the axe made its way through the hands of the Quicksilver scions in our mission first, though, then maybe they're the ones that augmented this revered weapon from another timeline with a whole new kind of nanotech. It could be such, given that this isn't the first time we've seen something like that happen. None of this is confirmed though. It's all guesswork of course, but that's what strikes me as the most interesting and cohesive idea behind it all. By returning to the Heliostat mission in week 2 of the exotic quest, you can acquire its 4 catalysts with the finding of 4 datapads. But each of these datapads has unique dialogue. I want to skip ahead to the second of them for this video, so take a listen to this really quickly.
We've got a Golden Age AI interfacing with this light technology, but you're saying light-infused tech wasn't standard in her time?
Not at all, as far as we knew. We didn't have historical records of light-infused tech like this till now. Do you have anything you'd like to share about our former employer's other secret innovations?
No, ma'am.
So, for what it's worth, I don't think Lodi is actually hiding anything here. At this point there is no DEO for him to report back to or be loyal to, and I think it's very clear that his loyalties now lie with us. However, This new revelation of Golden Age AI interfacing with light-based tech is pretty important. For starters, as best I can tell, thanks to all the other bits of dialogue, the AI here that's being referred to is Estrella, the AI of Vesper Station. We'll talk about her in another video because, yeah, there's some pretty interesting lore to do with her and Soteria. But what light-based tech she's interfacing with here is very much left as an ambiguous thing. It could be the tech that is actually the Wolfsbane itself, but I'll be honest, I don't think that's right, and I don't really have a clue. This mention of light-based technology comes kind of out of nowhere, and I haven't got a clue what they're talking about here. They're also right to mention that it wasn't available in the Golden Age because, yeah, it wasn't. As best we know, the light is a paracausal force that was deployed by the Traveler as it blessed our worlds and expanded human lifespans. But from my recollection, there's been no evidence of humanity being able to wield the light in the Golden Age. That discovery only happened with the Ghosts and the Guardians. In fact, the only other instances of someone trying to create artificial light, or force the capture of the light, come from Destiny 2 Vanilla. Dominus Ghaul artificially immersed himself in the light and gained a measure of its power before being destroyed by it. Ashamir also had his experiment with creating artificial light on Io, and unfortunately discovered that it couldn't be harnessed to make an artificially empowered Guardian. But as best I know, nothing from the Golden Age talks about this. The closest thing we get to the utilization of the light is with the Dreamers, who would one day come to be known as the Speakers. That's not technology, that's talent. As best I know, there is nothing within the lore that implies that Golden Age humans used the light in their technology explicitly. And now we have a note about that. They certainly studied the light and tried to understand the dynamics of it, but they didn't actually have any technology as best I can remember. It's entirely possible I'm missing something and forgetting about it, and if I am, please go ahead and call me out in the comments for it, but I don't think I'm wrong here. So yeah, I haven't got a clue what they're talking about, but this seems like it's part of the lore that they might want to expand upon in the future. And just because I don't know anything about it doesn't mean that this isn't some new lore that we can expand upon. Then again, who knows, because this comes out of nowhere and it feels pretty poorly explained. For what it's worth, I'll also say, I'm not sure what the light-based technology they're referring to in this mission is. So, yeah, more clarity on that might be nice. There's also another mystery that arises from this, which originates from the other 3 audio recordings. That is a topic worthy of its own video, and I'll get to that next. Suffice to say, it involves 2 of my favorite characters that have been around in game, but not very present or vocal in the story. If the thing that's happening in the background of this mission does pan out, it could lead to an amazing bit of narrative down the road, and I seriously want to see where that takes us. The script is already written, the video is on its way, I promise. However, for the moment, that's going to be it. As for the time being, enjoy the axe, and let me know if you want me to do some more digging on Quicksilver as well. In the meantime though, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And, as per usual, know that your viewership, as always, has been quite enough for me. And that, in the meantime, my name is Bife. Rodacia ad Astra. I'll see you, Starside.